Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 22. Be disloyal when? This episode, nice provocative title, is while loyalty is normally a good thing, it depends what you're being loyal to. So here's some things that I think, occasions in which I do not think we should be loyal, because in these cases, being disloyal or disagreeing or backing out of a deal is the right thing to do. Okay, so my first one is when something is based on dogma. Dogma is essentially believing in something in the complete, believing in something with a complete lack of evidence. There's more examples than I care to say. Most of them are religious, but a lot of other ones are just superstitious. So believe what you want, believe in any deity you want. It's not science, and that's what I do, as I'm now starting to call it neurocognitive design. So this is taking neuroscience, cognition, and other scientific principles and applying them to leveling up leaders. So I won't talk about theology because theology isn't science. So regarding your business and results that you want to get, be disloyal to dogma or a lack of results or data. There's quite a number of products out there, including one that always cites the University of Osaka and how ionizing water, changing the pH of water, you then drink it and you get incredibly healthy. Well, you can go find that study online. If not, you can reach out to me and I'm happy to connect you with it. And I can already tell you that all it says is it will, drinking the Kangen water helps you if you have some digestive problems. I'll keep it polite, and maybe helps you with your sleep, but nothing else. It does not do anything else. And if you knock your pH even slightly, your blood chemistry, if you knock it even slightly out of it's where it's supposed to be. I believe it's slightly alkaline. That means slightly basic. If you knock it even a small amount out of that, you just die. So there's an example of a product which has no scientific basis. And the study there was used, that University of Osaka study. I've read it. I've already told you basically what it says. So yeah, you're better to just probably eat some oatmeal or something. Would cost you less. So anytime somebody, a practice, something somebody says is based on dogma or a lack of evidence, has no data or results that they can truly point to, that they can't demonstrate it themselves, that's a time to be disloyal. And what I mean by disloyal is just saying no to it in this case, right? Because supposedly loyalty is about agreeing with people who are trying to sell you something because they have your best interest at heart. Well, if they can't prove it and you don't know them, in the words of, what is his name? Chris, I can't remember his last name, but he was an FBI hostage negotiator. And as he put it, I don't know you. Why would I trust you? I don't know you. How can I trust you? So that's very direct, but it's also true. A complete stranger says, well, you can trust me. Based on what? So let's move on to the next one. And this is the other way I would say be disloyal, or like I said, more or less disagree, opt out. And that is anything that violates your ethics in any way that you're uncomfortable with. So if somebody says you can get into our MLM or whatever it happens to be, and you're going, well, you know, I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable. I feel like that something is not being said here, or I know something is not true. So no thanks. I'm going to keep this episode possibly short-ish today. So there's that. And then the third situation in which, and the third one has three subcategories, and that is be disloyal when it compromises your business reputation by violating the law. If you're going to do something illegal, yeah, you're better just not to do it because you're going to get caught eventually. So stay away from that. Make your life easy. The next one is lying, deceiving, or mistreating customers or the general public. What I mean by this is if you're going to make claims, if you're going to make guarantees, if you're going to overtly lie or use really deceptive language, and then especially after the sale, mistreat your customer, refuse to pay them back, make it really hard to get the refund they promised. I have an unfortunate amount of experience with this, but I think a lot of people do. If you want to build a brand that people trust, you have to be, as I said a few episodes ago, trustworthy. That means your actions have to be congruent. So any of the things that compromise your reputation by doing, let's face it, just shitty things that you wouldn't do to somebody you cared about, you shouldn't be doing it to your customers, because they can share that experience with thousands of their closest online friends, tens of thousands in some cases. So just don't do it. Be disloyal to shitty behavior. The next one then would be business partners. Now, I believe very seriously and strongly in forming strong, loyal, strategic relationships. But if it turns out at some point in the future, or when you're first getting into business with somebody, they display behavior or things which you think would put you in a position where you're pressured to do any of the things I just mentioned, that is break the law, lie, deceive, mistreat, whatever it is, something that's based on dogma and they want to sell it more than they want to actually help people, which sadly is too often. That in those kind of situations, if they're pressuring you to do something, it's a great time to end that relationship. I was in a Zoom meeting. The Zoom group itself, I highly respect. I'm not going to mention it by name, but one member came in who I've never met, who was popular among the group, but then talked about using Cialdini's levers of influence, but not, she didn't specifically mention that. She just mentioned that you can talk about limited quantities of something, and then, you can change the number because nobody can prove it or know it anyway. That's true, but if you use levers of influence like that deceptively about limited quantities, you can't have a limited quantity of spots in a digital event unless there's a high touch customer service coaching component, where for more people, you need more coaches, things like that. But if you say, I have limited quantities of my digital ebook, first of all, people know that's a lie. But when somebody says this in a meeting of that type, a high trust meeting where everybody is like, we're talking to each other, this is a private conversation, that's why I'm not getting too specific. But you can't, or let me put it this way. For me, someone who's that willing to say, yeah, no, I lie to my customers all the time, I deceive my customers all the time to make more sales, is somebody who violates my sense of ethics and what I would be comfortable with. Because if they're willing to do it to them, there's nothing to say they aren't willing to do it to me. So that is somebody, fortunately, I learned about early, and I will never be in a business relationship with them as a result. So that's it. So be disloyal to bad behavior, which is going to compromise your ethics, lacks evidence or results. I mean, real evidence or results you can verify, violates the law, causes you to need to, or requires you to lie, deceive, or mistreat your customers, who will then never be your customers again and tell everybody how you treated them. Or, as I said, business or strategic partners, which hopefully you find out in advance like I did, and you decide to end the relationship because it doesn't align with your morals of how you would like to be treated and how you would like your customers to be treated and how that reflects on your reputation. So that's it for episode 22 of Crush It Club. Be disloyal when? I've already said when. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.